kids, welcome back to the show. Happy to see you. Today we are going to rank the Blink-182 albums from worst to best, at least in my opinion. And obviously there's going to be a lot of, personal reasons why I think that certain albums are better than others. I'm not really going at it so much as an unbiased opinion. I'm just going with what I like the most and what I like the least. So to start it off, to no one's surprise, is California. I do not like California. I think that I don't think it's Blink-182 anymore. I mean, clearly some of you are going to be just not surprised by that answer and just kind of sick of me just bashing California, but I obviously have to add it to the list because it's technically a Blink-182 album. So, yeah. I don't like it. I think that it's watered down. I think that it's Mark really regressing his talents. He really showed off how great he can write, without Tom on Plus 44, and, just him growing as a person, the last 10 or 15 years, I feel like he just kind of took a step back to try and please people and try to make a paycheck. I don't know how much of that really has to do with maybe the record label trying to make more money. Maybe he was under pressure. Who knows? That does happen. After that, I would say Fly Swatter. And while it's not an official album, I'm still going to add it in here. And I'm going to add some stuff in here that's not, official albums. Just because, it was a bigger release and, it still means something. I don't really listen to Fly Swatter. Obviously, it was like their first real bigger demo of anything. I'm not sure if there was anything before that or not. There might have been. You super nerd fans will probably correct me. But yeah, I mean, the songs are fine, but the quality is just terrible. It's not an enjoyable listen at all. But it's still better than California. And I won't be including California Deluxe, by the way, because it's just part of the same thing. Just make it a bigger album, whatever. After that, I have to go with Cheshire Cat. Now, there's some great songs on that album, and it's got some of Tom's best guitar riffs. But it's the similar sort of idea as Fly Swatter. It's just really not the best sounding record, and I don't know. I don't find myself really listening to it, other than if I'm just jamming one of the songs just because the guitar riffs are fun. That's really the extent of my enjoyment for that album. That being said, I do prefer Buddha, which is my next entry, over Cheshire Cat. Technically, I think people call Buddha another demo. They don't really call it a full release. But I think that I prefer some of the versions of the songs that are shared between the two albums. I think I prefer the Buddha versions, like Carousel. I think Carousel is cool on that one. It's short, just right to the point. Although I do like the longer intro version of the Cheshire Cat version, but I don't know. I just think it sounds sounds better in my opinion. I don't know why, even though it's technically recorded earlier, but I don't know. And there's a couple others. I think Toast and Bananas is on both, and I preferred the Buddha version of that as well. And plus, it has one of my favorite songs of theirs, which is actually a cover. The Girl Next Door. I'm pretty sure it's Screeching Weasel, I want to say. That's a good song. I really do like that one. After Buddha is Neighborhoods, and I've been getting a lot of people talking about Neighborhoods on my channel lately. A lot of people bashing it. A lot of people saying that they think it's the best Blink-182 album, and I'll make people mad right now. I really don't mind. I think the only people that are gonna think that Neighborhoods is the best album are the people that found Blink-182 right when Neighborhoods dropped, because it was a big deal to them at the time. That's obviously not going to be the case for all of them, but Neighborhoods just suffered from a lack of connection between the guys. I mean, people blame Tom a lot for that, but, you know, I kind of blame everybody. I mean, at that point, Blink had been disbanded for a little while, a couple years, and then they got back together. But, you know, in that meantime, everybody kind of found a lot of other things to do. You know, they found a lot of projects that they had passions for, and it was really hard for them to, you know, get back to where they were as far as, you know, like a camaraderie. But, you know, they did the best with what they had. You know, I don't think it was the best album, you know, for production's sake, but some of the songs are pretty good. I really like After Midnight. I think that's a great song. Wishing Well's good. I really like Ghost on the Dance Floor is a good one. But, you know, there's definitely some on there that really just aren't that great. But, yeah. Next, I'm going to add Dogs Eating Dogs because, you know, it's 5 original tunes. You know, it might be an EP, but it was still a big deal when it came out. And after this sort of, you know, disconnection on Neighborhoods, I feel like they really brought it back together for Dogs Eating Dogs. And I really like that EP a lot. There's definitely some very obvious Tom songs. There's some very obvious Mark songs. But the whole thing just felt like a more cohesive set of songs to me, and I don't know. I just thought it was really well done, and I was really excited after that album or that EP came out because I was really happy with the direction Blink was going. I mean, it certainly wasn't what it was, but it was different, but it still felt like a really good mix of Mark and Tom and Travis, and I was excited to see what was going to happen. And, you know, things obviously went where they went, but, you know, I'm glad that EP exists because, you know, it kind of brought me back after Neighborhoods kind of left me with a kind of a weird taste in my mouth. So after Dogs Eating Dogs, I have They Came to Conquer Uranus. And this is an EP that I didn't really appreciate until, you know, the last couple of years. And I don't know, just 3 really great songs. You know, Zulu and Wrecked Him are only found on this, I believe. And it's just a couple great songs. Waggy is obviously off of Dude Ranch as well. And that's one of my favorite songs off of Dude Ranch. And it's just, you know, a great, you know, slightly different version from the Dude Ranch version. And I don't know, I really think those 3 songs are super strong. And yeah, it's always an enjoyable listen. After They Came to Conquer Uranus, I would have to go with Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. I really do like this album. It was possibly my favorite for a while. Before Self-Titled came out, it was definitely my favorite. It's a great guitar album. I think it's just littered with just great sounding guitars. The production on the whole thing is just as good as it gets for pop punk, in my opinion. And I don't know, I used to come home from school and just play that album on guitar just nonstop. That one and Enema of the State, but I always had a little bit more fun playing Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. There's just so many good riffs on there, and I don't know. I mean, the drums are great, the production's great, the singing's great. Everything about it is just solid. The songwriting, I don't think is as good as, you know, some of the other albums that I'm going to talk about, but I definitely think it's one of their better releases. Look at a stink bug flying around up there. That's nice. Anyway, next is an album that, you know, over the past couple of years has really grown on me a lot, you know, and owning this guitar behind me has really made it that much more special, and that's Dude Ranch. Dude Ranch, I think the only downside it really has is the production. I don't think it's great. It's good. It's certainly better than Cheshire Cat and Buddha and, you know, some of the other ones, but the songwriting I think was really solid, and more just great guitar parts, and it really is their best punk before they got, you know, pop punk. I think I think it's a better punk album than Cheshire Cat. Some people might disagree with me on that, but I don't know. I think they really got it right. And, you know, Scott's drumming definitely did have a play on that. You know, Travis really transforms their songs into something more than just punk stuff. And, I don't know, Scott, just the way that he kind of steered songs in certain directions, it just really gave it a solid punk feel. And, I don't know, I've just really grown to like that album a lot. It's definitely one I appreciate a lot more than I did, you know, 10 or 15 years ago. So, runner-up is Enema of the State. This is another one where it wasn't my favorite for a while, and, you know, obviously it's still not, but I've grown to really appreciate it a lot more. I wholeheartedly think it's the best pop-punk album ever. I really do. They got everything right. I like that there's really no joke songs. Adam's song is phenomenal. You know, it's such a humongous sounding song. It's very serious. They have their fun a little bit in some of the lyrics, in certain songs, but, you know, it's just a solid album. I mean, from front to back, there's really nothing to complain about. There's not a single weak song on that album, in my opinion. You know, some people might say What's My Age Again or All the Small Things, but, you know, even then, I mean, I think they're solid songs. I mean, I'm burnt out on them too, as, you know, a lot of people are, but I think that it's one of those albums where, you know, I don't feel the need to skip a single song. You know, it really just is pretty perfect for Blink. And my number one album, to, I'm sure, no surprise to anybody because I praise it all the time, is the self-titled album from 2003. You know, just like I was mentioning with Neighborhoods and people saying that it's the best album, and I kind of said that, well, that's probably because that's when you got into Blink and it just, you know, that more connection. That's definitely a little bit of a case for me here. Because that was right when I was starting to get into Blink. I started listening to them the year before, and I can honestly say that, you know, that aside, you know, that sort of, what's the word I'm thinking of, that nostalgia feeling aside, it's an incredible album. I mean, from front to back, I mean, they really, really went for it, and they tried a lot of new things, and there's just so much on that album. I mean, I could listen to it right now and probably find something new on it that I didn't notice before. I mean, from the first track with Feeling This all the way until I'm Lost Without You, I mean, it's really, really special. And, you know, I find it hard to believe when people say that it's not the best. I mean, I really can't imagine somebody not thinking that. There's just so much. There's something for everybody. I mean, I Miss You, when the first time I heard I Miss You, I couldn't believe that it came from those guys. I could not believe that the same guys that had come out with Mother's Day and other songs like that they could write a song like I Miss You. I mean, that is such an incredible song, and I don't know, it's just crazy. I mean, I don't even know really go from there. I mean, it's just, it's perfect. I mean, Jerry Finn, thank God for him. You know, God rest his soul. He really, really made that album very special. You know, they were very lucky to have him, for sure. And I don't know. It's just, it's one of my favorite albums of all time. You know, it'll always be a top 3. I don't know if it'll ever be my top 1 again. It was for a while, but you know, I do like Rush a lot, so that's a tough battle. But yeah, it's just an incredible album. You know, anybody that knocks that album, I think they're just crazy. But I mean, that's just me. So that's it. That is the whole list. I mean, there might have been a couple other like little things I might have missed. I mean, I didn't add Short Bus to it, but I haven't listened to that in forever, and I don't even remember what songs are on there. I don't think there's anything that's original on that album that wasn't on one of these. Yeah, I don't know. But absolutely, let me know what you're thinking. If you agree, disagree, or what your lists are, you know, definitely leave them below, and we can compare some notes. So, thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions for other videos, feel free to let me know, and I'll try to keep going, because you guys really seem to like these Blink FAQ videos. So, you know, the people that think I keep making these videos because, you know, I'm obsessed or something, I do it because, you know, I have a passion for it, but mostly because you guys really seem to like the videos. You know, people keep saying, you know, oh, this is the golden era for John's videos, or whatever. And I'm like, all right, you know, these videos especially, it's just me just talking out of my butt. You know, I don't feel like it's really effort at all, but I mean, you guys are really seeming to like the discussions, and you know, that's cool with me. I'm happy to oblige. So yeah, feel free, like I said, leave me suggestions, and I'll try to keep cranking these things out. So I'll see you guys later.